Hello, everybody. Good day. I hope you're all well. Welcome to the third day of the conference/workshop Update My City. And as always, please let me tell you how the day will be evolved. So today we will start with the last poll of the program as we have set it, where we will present some conclusive visions based on the strategy we developed on the previous work sessions. And you will have all to vote about it. Then we will have the honor to listen, to follow two lectures, the last ones for this event, one held by Mrs. Chiara Martinucci, our colleague from the UN Habitat, and the other held by Professor Denia Kolokocha, a professor from the Technical University of Crete. I will present them much better later. For now, what I would like to do is just recap what we have been doing the last few days. As you all know, we started from taking information and building a very large vision of what are the issues that interest us when we talk about smart technologies, urban health, and public space the first day. We make them, we compress them, we try to give them a direction yesterday when we allowed the management issue to emerge and try to see how this create a possibility to renovate a lot of systems, a lot of procedures inside the city scale, inside the city. And today we are going to focus on engagement tools. We are going to listen to tools that they are allowing us exactly to make people participate, to involve people, and we are going to see it through two different lectures. After that, we will proceed to the final work session for the workshop, where we are going to join all of the things, all of the concepts we have been developing the last few days, and then slowly we will proceed to our final presentation today at 4. May you all have a great day, and let's pass to the first poll for the day.
So you can start sending your votes as I walk you through the strategy visions for today. First, increase citizens' engagement through the update of public space. Second, Chania, equal opportunities, active citizens, vibrant public space. Following by engaging the citizens, redefining the public space, updating Chania. Then the transformation of Chania to a sustainable and inclusive city. Inclusive public space, the new era of Chania. Chania, where public space is open for all. Upgrade public space as an equal opportunity for all. Then connection, engagement, equality. And last option, public space open for all, a case study in Chania. Today you have many options, so you have to think about it a little bit more.
The one that you will choose will be the one that we will build for the final presentation. So your vote is very important. It's the one that all of you as a group, as a joint group, you support, and on which we are going to develop our strategies and our final presentation.
Okay, we have some votes coming. It's going to take a little bit more time today because you have a lot to think about. For the moment, it seems to be that the vision concerning the strategy of engaging the cities and redefining the public space on updating Chania is your preferable choice by now, with 80%. following by Chania, Equal Opportunities, Active Citizens, and Vibrant Public Space. Okay, we have some votes going also on the transformation of Chania to a sustainable and inclusive city, 9%. 11 people have voted by now. We will wait a little bit more. Also, for the people that are watching us via our YouTube channel, as you know by now, you have also the chance to send your votes while this poll is counting. Okay, I don't think I can see any other people increasing the number of votes, so we will wrap it up for the moment. And let me give the word to Mrs. Martinucci for her presentation for today. Thank you all.
Mrs. Martinucci is going to give a presentation with the title Her City, Let Her Guide You. And she's an architect and an urban planner at UN Habitat's Global Public Space Program. Please.
Thank you. Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Okay, so I think you guys already know a little bit of Her City, but we're gonna go a bit more into deep today. Let's start. Okay. So we started with a vision, thinking that involving girls in urban planning and design would make the city better for everyone, because girls and young women usually think with a different perspective, with a different point of view that accommodates the needs of a larger audience, and eventually, like, the final result end up being more beneficial for the whole society. We also found that participatory processes and urban planning practices at the moment were lacking of girls and young women participation. So we were thinking that we need to find some tools that could increase and support the local governments in this task. And also we strongly believe that if we let the citizens that are rarely heard be the expert and say what they actually think, our cities and community will improve. Her City has been developed in collaboration with a large range of multi-stakeholders, like from the public sector, private sector, and different organizations. But particularly, it's a joint initiative between UN Habitat and the think tank Global Utmaning, Swedish think tank. And it's been financed by Vinnova, which is the innovation agency of Swedish Innovation Agency. Other key stakeholders and partners that have been supporting us are also the Block by Block Foundation, the White Architects, and the Swedish Union of Tenants, and then also other tool providers such as MethodKit. So this is how typically looks the cities of today. So like we can see that it's dirty, unwelcoming, unsafe, there's a lot of congestions, and girls don't really feel at ease to walk around these kind of public areas. So we wanted to make a change and make sure that the public space of our cities would be encouraging the use of this specific target and not the other way around. To give you like a background, let's say, we know very well that by 2050, 70% of the world population will live in cities. And this is bringing a threat specifically on the most vulnerable groups of the society, such as girls and women. So it was for us very important to focus on how to make sure that they feel engaged and how they feel empowered in their living areas. Also, as I said, research also have shown that participation creates opportunities for more inclusive, equal and sustainable urban development. So through participation, urban development can actually be more sustainable and safer for everyone. But there is a lack of knowledge, especially in perhaps developing context, that participation is not really integrated in the urban planning and design processes. But we also see actually in developed context that there is still a lack, or maybe they are very aware that this is a crucial aspect, but they don't really have the tools to actually implement it. So they needed like a sort of like guidelines to follow. And also, still to have a general background, we always talk about gender gap, but what does it mean when it comes to technology and urban planning? We know that 60% of women feel unsafe in public space worldwide. 40% of women, compared to men, have access, like less women, 40% of less women compared to men has access to internet, especially in the world least developed countries, as well as 26% of less women compared to men have an own mobile phone, again, in developing countries. 22% of women cover governmental position worldwide, so it's not 50-50. And again, 30% of women experience violence also in domestic place. So like, not only they don't only feel unsafe in public spaces, but also they feel threat, and most of the threat comes within their living place. To give you also like a timeline, Her City started in 2017. And we started this initiative with the global think tank, Global Youth Money, through the initiative Urban Girls Movement. This was also financed by the SIDA, which is again the Swedish International Development Agency. And the idea was at the beginning to create like a mapping exercise to understand what are the tools and the methodologies that are already out there and are working, and they're increase the equality and inclusion for girls in urban development. So we did this mapping, and after that we tried to pilot it. We decided to pilot it in Stockholm, in a small suburb of Stockholm in Sweden. And this was a bit like our first phase. So now we decided, okay, we need to make it all accessible for everyone, and we need to make it globally available. So in 2019, together with Vinnova, we decided to start creating the Her City Toolbox. Sorry. And in the light of COVID-19, we really realized that becoming digital, like having the toolbox digital would have been really crucial, because this is not only very important to make sure that all these local authorities are able to access the toolbox, but also they needed even more digital toolbox, digital tools that were allowing them to engage with girls, even in the era of physical distancing and where gathering were not allowed. So we make sure that all the tools were gathered in a platform. We created a platform, and we try also to digitalize also the tools that were like more analogic, to make sure that everything could be done through a computer. On the International Women's Day this year, we launched the toolbox, and we had over a series of stakeholders engaging it, and it was really a really nice initiative. And now we have just concluded several regional trainings, so one for each region of the world, and training local partners, urban planners, local authorities, students, anyone that wanted to join was able to participate, and we had trained an average of 300 participants. Today, the toolbox is used by over 600 users, actually, and these numbers are keep increasing, and we are really excited to see how this tool has created such an attraction in different regions of the world. We are currently supporting some project, and what is interesting of the Her City is that can be completely done independently by anyone, and anyone can take Her City toolbox and replicate it in their city. We are currently partnering with 10 projects in Africa, Middle East, Latin America, and Europe. But again, there are so many other projects in the platform that we see that are increasing and improving, and it's really exciting for us. Actually, we have a snapshot of all the users of the platform around the world. So we can see that it's really well used, not only in the north, in the global north, but also in the global south, which is quite exciting for us. Also, to have a look of who are the users of the platform, it's quite nicely distributed between civil society, private sector, urban sector, and research. So again, Her City Toolbox provide a lot of guidelines for different groups, and this is really really interesting for us to see that they can gain some knowledge from different sectors. In one sentence, our mission is that Her City Toolbox promotes girls and young women participation in urban planning and design processes to create sustainable and inclusive cities. We always think with an intersectional approach. So we always acknowledge that girls are not only girls, but they are also, there is a variety of users within this larger female population, let's say. So also we take into consideration the needs of refugees and minorities, children, people with disability, and also LGBTIQ+ community. The toolbox aims to support urban development from a girl perspective. It guides urban actors to implement projects through a step-by-step process and provide an open and digitally accessible platform for all. And finally, it creates and able to facilitate ongoing dialogue between professionals and citizens. How does it work? It's basically divided in 3 main phases that are the 3 main phases of the urban planning process, which is assessment, design, and implementation. And within those phases, we have divided them in 9 blocks. Each blocks contained a series of activities that are linked with the easy steps to follow and the digital tools. So you can really, you have a really structured framework that allows you to really go through the process really easily and independently. Very quickly, I'm going to show you the different blocks, but then we're going to dig a little bit more into. So in assessment, we have the block stakeholder mapping, citywide assessment, and the site-specific assessment. So at the end of the assessment, you really have an understanding of what is the current situation. And this is a little bit what we are doing also now, what we have done also now with the citywide assessment. Then when it comes to the design phase, we enter in analyzing the challenges and opportunities of the space. Then we design the ideas and define some recommendations for actions. Finally, in the last blocks, we turn all this idea into reality. So the first block is action plan. Then we share the result, and then we implement and follow up. So we really let that project become real. When it comes to the digital tools, we have a variety of tools that are included, such as checklists, calendar, agendas, form, visualization services. So those are all really enabling tools that allows to smoothen up the process and make sure that it's really tangible for the users. And the tools that have been integrated are mostly open source. There are some that are also require some licenses, but you can do the process basically entirely independently. So that we also have integrated Jamboard, Kobo Collect, MethodKit, Minecraft, Sketchfab, etc. So there is a really variety of tools integrated. Now the platform is available online, is up and running, and can be used by a different type of devices within your laptop or your smartphone. And we also have created a series of social media network that allows us to keep the community updated about the process, but also like the projects on the ground. I'm gonna show you now a quick video, if it's possible. But again, as I said, implementing HerCity Toolbox will allow you to create such a city that is more vibrant, more welcoming, and safe for everyone. So we're gonna show you the video, and then we're gonna do a quick interactive session together. Thanks.
Have you ever lived in a city that wasn't built for you? Have you ever struggled to get around a place? Have you ever felt insecure in your neighborhood? Have you ever struggled to find basic services? Have you ever felt unwelcome? Then HerCity is for you. Too often, the city does not work for girls. It's unsafe, dirty, unwelcome, and inaccessible. This is how it typically looks like in many cities around the world. This is why we have developed the HerCity Toolbox to involve girls and young women in the planning, design, and construction of tomorrow's sustainable cities that work for everyone. I will show you how it works. Visit hercity.unhabitat.org. Register. Click Start. The toolbox follows a unique process containing 9 building blocks as a digital guideline on how to co-plan cities from a girl's perspective. The toolbox is divided into 3 phases to illustrate the urban development process. Phase 1, assessment. It includes Block 1, stakeholder engagement. The purpose of Block 1 is to identify and recruit stakeholders and target groups to participate throughout the project. Block 2, citywide assessment. Block 2 aims to assess the state of public spaces at the city scale and to identify which areas are in most urgent need of improvement. Block 3, Site-Specific Assessment. Block 3 provides a methodology to assess and measure the quality of a selected open public space and its 5 minutes walking radius. Phase 2, Design. It includes Block 4, Analyzing Challenges. Block 4 formalizes brainstorming and is particularly suitable when professionals are working together with non-professionals. Block 5, Designing Ideas. Block 5 turns the ideas into designs for the new public space using a participatory digital tool, the computer game Minecraft. Block 6, Recommendations for Action. Block 6 prioritizes among the designs, crafts guidelines, and develops recommendations in multi-stakeholder groups. Phase 3, Implementation. It includes Block 7, Action Plans. In this block, the plan for the public space is set through a participatory process similar to a client-architect meeting. Block 8, Sharing Results. Block 8 communicates the results with the community, decision makers, and a wider audience. Block 9, Implementation and Follow-up. The final block aims to gather feedback on the process from participants, follow up on the implementation, and provide an overall evaluation of the quality of the public space 6 months after construction. Each block leads you through a number of activities with detailed steps to follow in order to deliver on your HerCity project. Each step contains digital tools such as checklists, calendars, agendas, manuals, forms, boards, apps, templates, surveys, and visualization services that will help you on the way to reach the expected results. As a guidance, the majority of the toolbox is intended for the project team. When girls and stakeholders are participating, the activity is marked with a white star. And when they are the main users of a tool, it's marked with a black star. You can access your data at any time by clicking on Results. Remember what the space looked like at the beginning? What is the likely result of the HerCity process? A place where everyone thrives, that is safe, has good livelihood opportunities, and is ecologically sustainable. That's what HerCity could look like. Let her guide you. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at HerCity Toolbox and hashtag HerCity.
Okay, thanks. Can we go back to the presentation very quickly? Thanks. Awesome. So now we are going to explore a little bit more into detail the toolbox together. So if you'd like, you can scan the QR code or Google hercity.unhabitat.org, and we will guide you through the platform. So you can have a look how is it structured, where are the tools, how it works, where you can upload your data, etc. Let me know when you are in the platform, so then we can start together. And Penny, if you want, you can share your screen. Okay. Are you all in the website? Otherwise, it's hercity.unhabitat.org. Okay. So when you enter into the website, the first thing, so first of all, you can have a look at how the website looks like. Okay, now it's a bit slow, sorry. But if you scroll down, you can see that there are the different menus available. There is a series of messages, of course. You can go down, yes, and you will have a look, yeah. a bit our mission, how's the process organized, all the different, the key points. Yeah, you can continue going down. Yes. And then we have like the maps of all the projects that are happening. And we always pin all the activities going on. We keep some statistic, and then eventually you're able to register to actually start entering in all the, and visualizing all the activities and the steps. So let's register all together. We're gonna click the register button. Let me know when you're, if you're not there yet, because I see that the internet is running.
Yes, give me also a little bit more time because we have a little slow Wi-Fi connection.
No worries.
Okay.
And when you're inside the registration, you can insert your datas, and you will be able to connect. So there are two ways to register in the platform, either as a participant or as a facilitator. That's a bit depends on you. So if you think you have a project that might come up soon and that you are going to be leading that project, then we recommend you to register as a facilitator. Otherwise, you can just register as a participant. The difference is basically that as a facilitator, you are able to manage the data of the participants that are registered under your project. While if you are a participant, you will always only be able to visualize your data, the things that you upload. If you register as a participant, that there is your city project on the left, and you can scroll down. Here you can see the list of all the city projects that are already in the platform. But if you go down, there will be an Her City training, and I think you can register under that project, so that we know that it's, your profile is related only to this event. Then you can insert your name, your position. You can write your student, what is your sector, etc. And whenever you're ready, we can register. There are two other buttons at the end of the form, and the first one specifically asks, I would like to be supported through the Her City process. And this basically put you in contact with the UN Habitat team and the Global Utmaning team, and whenever you actually need support, we will be available. So this literally send us an email saying, hey, someone register and would like your help. But not necessarily you might need it, because again, as I said, Her City is completely independent, so you can also just run it through independently by yourself. So whenever you are all ready, I also need to log in. Let me know when you're all logged in. Can we raise a... Still registering? Okay. Penny, are you able to enter?
Yes, just give me a minute. I'm still trying.
Very slow. Lentissimo. Yeah, it's really slow, actually.
Finally, I was able to register, so
great.
you can guide us through. Thank you.
That's perfect. So meanwhile, you guys are getting inside. We are going to start showing how it looks. Yes. So again, I think you saw in the video, but if you can see here that there are different menus. If you press start, you will enter in the process. Then you have the result button, which is basically your data set, all the place where you gather where all your data will be gathered. And then there is my profile, which is more like administrative part. So if we all click start, we will jump into, yes, this visualization. And here you can see a timeline, like a timeline of all the blocks. And whenever you finish a block, like a tick will come out in the little circle, so you will always know where you are at and where you stopped in the previous session, so that you can continue from there. So if we click the block 1, we will enter into the activities of the block 1. And you can all do it in your smartphone, so you can go through the steps together with us. Yeah, it's really slow, I'm sorry.
Yes, give me also a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So this is the block 1. We will show you just one block so that you have an idea of how it works, and then otherwise it becomes too slow. So you have the main titles, the small descriptions. You always have the time frame, so it's like an idea of how much time you will need to complete that block and how many steps you have to do to complete it. Then you have like a quick description of why you should use it and what's the final outcomes that you come with it. If you scroll down, you can now see all the activities that are within that block. So we always have a preparation activity, a setting up activities at the beginning that gives you some key things that should be taken in consideration to allow that block to be run smoothly. So if we show the activity of the setting up, if we click that button, we will see inside that activity the different steps that you have to do. So you first always have like an introduction text that explain you what's the aim of that activities, and then you have the different steps. So for instance, for this one you have project team, like step 1 you have to prepare a project team, step 2 you have to prepare a project overview, a project plan, then you have to create your documentation folder, set up your communication channel, and then specifically from last year, we decided to add also COVID adaptation, so that decide like a moment in your process where you decide which activities you want to do digitally, which activities you want to do in person, how, and make sure that you have all the available framework to do that. Then if we scroll down, you will see the desk review activity 1. Yes, and inside the desk review, there are again other steps. So you have literature review, policy review, spatial and statistic data. If you show the literature review, we here have gathered a bunch of really interesting documents that we think are really good to set a bit of framework and make you understand what does it mean urban planning with a gender lens and why it's important, and also like what does it mean safety, etc. So there is a list that is quite long, and of course, depending on you and what is your focus, you can pick the ones that you think are more interesting. But again, the platform basically allows you to also make link with different tools and external contents and gather them all together. And then again, there is, like if we click in step 2, policy review. This is, for instance, a moment where you take the time to review all the policies and the law currently up in the context, and really you have to take the time to review them and make sure what is your policy framework. And then you can write in the box a small report, or like a small. You can even make bullet points of all the policies that should be taken in consideration, and adding links to them. And then you can make a review saying perhaps what are the things that are lacking. So all this information will be gathered then in the result areas. And once you can also upload files, click in select files. You will be able to then upload any documents that you think are important to be stored inside the platform. Let's say that Her City somehow works like a management tool of the like a project management tools, because it allows you to have in one space all the documents that you need, and they are available to all the facilitator of the project, and can be also shared with the participants. So it's really a platform to really enhance communication and cross collaboration. Yes, then showing you maybe something a little bit more interesting. If we go to the activity 2, I'm going to show you some of the digital tools that we use, other digital tools. So for instance, if you go in step 2, social network, you will have a link of the stakeholder mapping, and we are gonna try to click on it and see if it opens. Okay, but basically the stakeholder mapping it's a tool that allows you to map and understand the relationship between the different stakeholders, and this also allows you to understand how to engage them, what are the conflicts that perhaps are between different stakeholders, and how to go about it. So for instance, if you can go back to to that. Yes. Yes, it's loading. Yeah, so this is the framework. We use Jamboard Google because it's open source tools. There are many others that actually are very, very nice, such as Miro and Mural, but those, they require like a paid account, so we decided to use as much as possible open source tools. So for instance, here you can really, here you have these templates that allows you to understand and map stakeholder based on their power and their affinity to the project. And then if you click the fourth column, the fourth icon, these are post-its, and basically you can type the name of the stakeholders you want to engage. So perhaps local government. Let's just do it an example very quickly. You can save it, then you press, you exit, and you can see that you have your local government up there, and then you can take that post-it and allocate it wherever you think it is. So probably, let's say the local government is quite powerful. It has quite a high level of power in decision-making power, but also it should be quite affinitive also with the project. So let's say we're going to put it, let's say, quite high here. And here also allows you to understand how to approach these stakeholders. So for instance, manage them closely, keep them satisfied, monitor, keep informed, etc. What is nice of the Kobo toolbox, of the Jamboard is that you can do it participatorily. So now you are seeing the screen of Penny, but actually I am putting the post-it. And you would be able to do it also from your smartphone. You could even put a post-it. So this can be like a collaborative workshop that can be done completely online. So again, respecting like the COVID restrictions. And we have used Jamboard also for other activities throughout the toolbox. I'm not going to show you now because otherwise we take a little bit too much time. But this was just an example of how the toolbox, how the digital tools looks like. So if we go back to the platform, I'm just going to show you quickly the result page, and then we can close the session. Yes, so if you click the result menu at the very top, yes, you have two different type of menus. So there is the general and the data. If you have registered as a participant, you will see only your data. Otherwise, if you have registered as a facilitator, you have another little menu with the name of people, and you will be able to choose the name of the participants, and you can go and look at their data and analyze those data. But basically, here you have a general overview of the data that has been gathered and all the steps that has been done. So you can see like, okay, in stakeholder engagement, we have done 0 steps, and so we need to do better. And then all the blocks. So you can have an overview of what you're missing. What is nice of the platform is also that allows you to skip steps if you have done them already in other processes, or you can also you can keep them there undone, and then you can do them later. So not necessarily you have to do the process from 1 to 9, but depending on the priorities of your municipality or the project, you can decide maybe to do the block 2 in a later stage, or depending on what's your time frame also. If you click data instead of general, you will have here all. Well, now we don't have any data, but you will be here able to download and see all the data organized in the different blocks and activities, so that you will always be able to go back, edit them, and make sure they are updated. And that's it. I think I took already too much time. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm here. Thank you.
So, are we having any question for Ms. Martinuzzi?
Hi, thanks for the presentation and the demonstration of the tools, which look fantastic. I have a question. It seems you're using different tools like Google Jamboard or a web app. How do you deal with GDPR and data protection? Like when data goes out to servers in the US, come back, and all of that. How do you deal with the horror, the horror of GDPR?
Okay, so let's say data-wise, we never really store sensitive data. So we always store data that are that should be publicly available. So the condition of the public space and the pictures of public space, etc. There might be some municipalities that are not really happy about it, but the intention of UN Habitat is to make those data available. So of course, you would need to engage your municipality also to understand what's their perspective, but usually we never really store sensitive data, so that's also another plus. Also, actually, Her City is really open, meaning that it's open code. So you're even able to take the platform, replicate it completely, and we will be able, we allowed you to give the access to the back code, and you can create a new platform for your city. So eventually, if you wanna have a more, let's say, restricted environment and safer, so to say, you can replicate your platform and create a more secure space. Yeah, hope that answered the question.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so thank you very much, Ms. Martinuzzi, for the interesting presentation. I give the word to Mrs. Geropada, who is going to present our next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinuzzi. That has been a wonderful presentation and very engaging for our participants. And we are really keen on doing it here in Chania. Let's hope that we will manage to make a Her City here. That I think is also very, very needed. It's also very important. Right now, so thank you. Now I would like to call the next our next speaker, Mrs. Denia Kolokotsa, Professor of the Technical University of Crete and Head of the Energy Management in the Built Environment Research Lab at the same university. Ms. Kolokotsa will do a presentation with the title Tools for Social Inclusion, Engagement through Participatory Planning and Co-Design of Public Spaces, the VAR Cities Project.
I don't have my, where is the laptop? Are you going to change it from here? Oh, how do I change the slides? I want to see. Okay. So, I would like to thank you very much for being here today. I would like to thank the organizer, especially Valina, my colleague, for inviting me to present our work. And also, I'm very glad that my presentation is after Mrs. Martinuzzi's presentation, but because it follows very, very well your procedure and methodology, and we followed the same tools, actually. So my talk will be for social inclusion engagement through participatory planning. Can I have my laptop here also? Is it possible? Because I don't see the... It's very difficult to see from here. Can I have 5 minutes from your time? 2 minutes, actually. Okay, doesn't open.
Okay, so we're waiting for a little bit for our last presentation for today.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
So, the outline of the presentation is the scope of the VAR Cities project that we are coordinating and deals with outdoor public spaces, visionary solutions in 8 different pilot cities in Europe. How we engaged with stakeholders in this co-creation and co-design strategy, and the outcomes of a co-design workshop that was held in Chania last month, and the results of this workshop, the preliminary results, because we didn't have the time to analyze the full results. So, first of all, the vision of Varsitis project is to implement visionary solutions and ideas by adding value to establish sustainable models for increasing the health and well-being of citizens that are exposed to the diverse climatic conditions and challenges in different cities in Europe, from the very harsh north conditions and winter to the hot summer of Mediterranean. And also to advance innovation in different urban scales, in city scale, in regional scale, or in street and very small neighborhood scale, by exploiting the intersection of 4 axes: nature, digital, social, cultural perspective. So we work in 4 different dimensions. We want to integrate nature-based solutions and also to increase the digital, the social, and the cultural perspective of all these public spaces. And I will show you how is our approach. So the objectives is, first of all, to design these visionary nature-based solutions for 8 cities that I will talk about them later. I will focus in Chania, but I will talk about all the cities, to assess the sustainability and the impact of interventions through developing of key performance indicators to make sure that monitor and quantify our results, to improve the sustainable transition to smart and future cities, not only green, but also the intersection of smart and green cities, and also have a framework of new governance, business, and financing, include and inspire the various stakeholders to participate in this co-design process, and also develop an advancement beyond the state of the art through clustering with other initiatives and platforms and data. We collect data, and I will show you what we do with data, and to transfer, upscale, and sustain best practices to the development of a helix. You see here, this Healthy Cities Helix is managed by Crowd Helix partner. And it's a group, a network of cities, of stakeholders, of people that are interested in these future cities and green cities aspect. So in the 4 axes, we see here the future city, where the solutions fostering healthier, sustainable, and resilient urban future. Then we have the green public spaces. Then we focus on public spaces as people-centered areas to support creativity, inclusivity, health, and happiness. So we have this social and cultural perspective. We are human-centered. The people are in the center of our work. And we want to be also smart and resilient, so we exploit the digital devices, smart devices, and digital components to collect data and analyze our results and quantify our results. So here you see the approach. We have different scales: large scale, site scale, district scale. We have 8 pilots, as I mentioned. We start from urban gardens and courtyards, regeneration of big areas and side roads, and urban parks in different cities. We have Italy, Ireland, and Greece, Malta, Belgium, Sweden, and also here Slovenia and Norway. That we, for example, in Norway we have a big urban park with a city beach, and in Slovenia there is also a big park with horses and all other various activities. And we have a governance that we want to integrate the social, nature, cultural, and digital innovation to have feel like home and inclusivity, to have people that feel like they're home in the cities. Then the Healthy Cities Helix, that we try to integrate all the stakeholders and create a network of cities, industry, business, researchers, and NBS projects. And then we have the development of a Varsitis ICT platform that we collect data from our cities, and also we gather data from GEOS, Copernicus, and citizens observatories that are databases that involve that collect data from various sources. And this to create our future cities, or cities now, that tackle climate change mitigation, climate change challenges and other challenges. So as I mentioned, we have here our cities. You see here that we cover various areas of Europe, from very, very north in Skellefteå, from Malta and Chania in the south, different climatic zones, also Mediterranean, maritime, oceanic, the center also here of Europe, and we see different aspects of climate conditions and also different cultural perspectives and different social perspectives. Now, our approach, if I manage, yes. So the stakeholder engagement stages, because this is what we are talking now, is we started last year, and we are going until 2025. And we start with co-identification, the first stage, then co-design, co-implementation, and co-evaluation. We are now in the co-identification stage, where we want to identify the strategic definition and brief of visionary solutions, to assemble the project teams, define roles and responsibilities, to develop this program and phasing strategies, to have the stakeholders together with us, feasibility and risks analysis, SWOT analysis and pestle analysis. I will talk about this pestle analysis later, and then preliminary qualification of budget. And then we move, the next step is co-design, to visualize what we are talking about and to have the same, people understand the same thing that we understand. Completion of the concept design for permit application, business plan, including procurement actions, and program and phasing strategy. So we started, first of all, to see in each of the areas which are the major stakeholders. And we developed what is called the stakeholder mapping. You see here the health and well-being stakeholders that may be diverse actors in health and well-being, hospitals, clinics, mental health care providers, nature-based solutions, material manufacturers supplying pollution experts, architects, the end users, which are the citizens, the teachers, the students, the people that might be involved in our work, the social development, neighborhood associations, cultural sector, and performing arts and organizations, education, universities, social media, research bodies, governance, public authorities, municipalities, public agencies, and economy, of course, startups, innovation communities, business associations, and investors. So we focus now in Chania, and we see the urban challenges. I think that you talked about Chania the last 2 days, so I might say a few things. It's a place with unique architecture, it's wonderful nature and local tradition. It's a very popular touristic destination, but the public spaces in Chania do not share the same qualities, same mix of visitors, same needs, and it's 1.89 square meters of green per citizen today. So we want to establish new models that will increase the health and well-being of the citizens, and of course to avoid the exposure of extreme climatic conditions and challenges. So the overarching vision is to support solutions that will make the everyday life easier and change behavior. And first of all, we decided to have two visionary solutions for Chania. The one is called Urban Living Room, and the second one is bikes and sessions in bikes. So in the first one, we have a space to gather, and the other one is areas to move around the city. And how we communicated with the citizens. This is the layout of the workshop that we developed with 7 parts. It's, the third one is missing here because it's the break, but we have 7 parts in our stakeholder engagement workshop, and we wanted to share with people in Chania and stakeholders in Chania what we are planning to do, or what our ambition is. The first one is to introduce the visionary solutions, to present the solutions, and to make sure that us and the stakeholders understand the same thing when we're talking about urban living rooms and also bikes. The second one is to have a discussion, and you used the engagement tool called Mural that was also presented before by our speakers, to communicate and to exchange ideas. And then we discussed about the needs, drivers, and challenges for these solutions that we are talking about. What can be the success factors that can drive and motivate people to validate and to have these solutions. Then we discussed about how the digital health and well-being platform will look like, and communication channels and workshops, and a wrap-up. So you see here, Hania, we have here for Visionary Solution 1, which is the urban living rooms, 1, 2, various, I don't know if you can see that very clearly. It's spaces that were proposed by the municipality to install this urban living room. And the objective is to reduce the adverse health impact, including air quality, and have green spaces accessibility, and improve the collective society psychology through built interactions. And we didn't know exactly, because it's mobile, we didn't know exactly where to put them, but there are various ideas. And we want to increase environmental awareness, to integrate the green spaces, to increase the sense of respect of public spaces, develop healthy, green mindset for children, and improve economic opportunities through and increase urban interaction. You will see now some ideas of where we can put. Here's Agia Apostoli, where is small wetlands. Here, other ideas. You see here how much is the green area compared to the old city and the new city residential area. And then some sources of inspiration. We wanted to show to the people how these spaces might look like. We found different ideas of designing these spaces that are convertible and transformable forms, and boxes that can be opened during day and closed during night, and see here that can be used or not used, and also there are places in the parks and other ideas. And we wanted to share with the stakeholders during the workshop what can be these ideas. Then what can be also modular furniture, and I'm sorry. You see here the modular furniture, some other ideas, aspect studios, and you see how we can transform and have this furniture to move around and use it with different activities. More sources of inspiration. Here you see the green, the integration of green into these boxes, and the digital components, and also the energy aspect, to have a zero energy kiosk with photovoltaics integrated in the design. And also here you see that they have access to mobile phones, batteries charging, and the photovoltaics are also integrated in the design. What are the uses? This is a very big also question. Can be green learning, socialize and work, exhibition, awareness, learning, and workshops. We have different uses, and we wanted to discuss that with the stakeholders during the workshop to see, first of all, the design, and then how this can be used. You see also here recreational activities, seminars, can be exercise, can be music, theater events, and community gathering and interaction, different ideas of what we can do in these spaces. And similar things are done in other also cities. For example, in Ireland, they're planning to do a small box that they gather together and have learning pods and interact with students. So first of all, the uses can be awareness events, for example, for climate, for sustainability, for local natural environment, health, well-being, nutrition, exercise, cultural events, museum and music, social events, office, meeting points, green pop-up in neighborhood, motivating people to co-create and improve the valued and neglected parts of their network, and also educational events, workshops, library, outdoor classrooms. And you see here some one idea that is transformed. You see, it's 24/7, 365 urban furniture. It opens here, and you have this environment during night, and then it also changes during a rush hour, opens, closes, and be used for different events and different activities. The second visionary solution that we discussed with the stakeholders were the sensors on bikes and bike stations. We know that in Chania there are municipal bikes, public bikes that can be used, but we wanted to exploit that and expand it to have sensors on bikes to measure, for example, air quality, to measure the temperature, humidity, the NOx, and noise in the city, and to collect data from the citizens while they're moving around for the various environmental conditions. And the main concept is the air quality monitoring, the health and well-being impact, and combined measurements with other sources. We're not going to use just these sensors, but also it's an idea of knowing people what is done in their cities. Now, different aspects of bikes, also for gender equity, diversity, and inclusion aspect. We want bikes for all people to move around the city. And we want also stations that look very nice and create a natural environment. You see here ideas of stations, charging stations of the bikes that are integrating with greenery and create a natural local space. So, in the workshop of Chania, then, after we presented the solutions that I saw, here you see the people that participated are also almost 40 people from different stakeholders. Oops, sorry, I have to get used to it. It's the Chania Architects Association, Welfare Center of the Region of Crete, Committee for Schools, LEPAP, Orizontas, the DISA, the Green School, Chania Film Festival, Cyclopolis. It's a lot of participants from the city with different aspects and different visions. So then we started to discuss, we presented the solutions, we presented the ideas, the uses, but we wanted to have feedback from the people, so we used Mural, the tool that was presented before. And first of all, we asked people to put their stickers. These are not physical stickers, are digital stickers. In the question, what are the most significant factors that affect the health and well-being in the city of Chania? And we want to have it's a free discussion and free topic. People put here a lot, even more. You see a picture of when we started the discussion. And then at the second part, we wanted to have the wants and needs. And the question is, what are your wishes regarding the suggested solutions in general and specific for each one? So here we have collected what people think and need. And also we left 2 days after the workshop for the people to go inside the mural and put their opinion, because it's very important to think about it and give some feedback after people have digested the information. Then we have the PESTEL question. We analyze these factors in we analyze these general factors in 6 different categories: political factors, financial, economic, social, technical, legal, and environmental factors. This is the PESTEL analysis, so all the factors are put into different categories to analyze especially the challenges, the needs, the drivers, and the barriers. We haven't analyzed all the results because it's last month and we want some time, but I wanted to present you some ideas. Then we have a digital poll. People were asked about what do they think about the proposed draft solutions, and if they're implemented, if this is going to be effective for the health and well-being in the area. You see here that most of the people think that it will be very effective or effective. And then the other question is, what could be the criteria to judge the successful implementation for health and well-being in our area. And you see here that everything is very, very important because the pie is similarly divided into social, health, environmental, economic, cultural, digital, so all criteria are very, very important. And of course, you see here that 88% of the people are interested to hear more and to be connected and involved. So that's more or less, I'm finished. I don't know if I got a lot of your time. You see here the Varsitis partners. You see the website, the emails, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And I would like to thank you for hearing me this morning.
Thank you, Mrs. Kolokotsara. Are we having any questions?
Hi, thank you for the presentation. Both the two presentations were amazing this morning. I would like to ask on a step that I may missed. How did you move from the data collection in the neural environment to the analysis of the answers?
Oh. It were two different tools. So the one is the mural that people discuss freely and put their opinion in stickers. So it's not a poll. And then we have a digital poll that follows. So we didn't analyze the results of the mural yet because it's a lot and different. We need to group them, and it needs a lot of work to group the results. But we just had some initial reactions from a digital poll after we finished the workshop. And I would like to say that we had very good representation of gender equity, diversity and inclusion, and we were also motivated by the European Commission to make sure that we have a good representation. And after the digital poll, there was a feedback questionnaire to see the background information of the people that wanted to share this information, of course, because it's GDPR, and people wanted to share or not wanted to share some personal information. I hope that I answered.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And sorry, just following this, and do you have any idea on what tools are you going to use for this clustering of the responses?
For the clustering of the, you mean for the mural?
Yes, yes. Because I understand that it's a very,
I don't have the answer now. It's part of, wait. This partner, Prospects Institute, they are doing the work of the overall project for the stakeholder engagement, but I can give you some information about that offline.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Are we having any other questions? Okay.
Hi. Thank you so much for your presentation. I have a very specific, I guess, question that is in reference with the atmospheric pollution data that you are planning on collecting. I was wondering if they're going to be open source data available after that, and if and how you are planning on using them. Is it going to be GIS-based tool that you're going to expose them? Is it going to be a 3D tool, since atmospheric pollution is not a level kind of problem? And the second part of the question, I guess it would be, I was wondering, since you are using sensors that are going to be in a kind of device that is moving, either bicycles or cars or whatever you are thinking, how are you going to account also for the speed of the vehicle while they're moving and doing your measurements? How are you going to take out of the equation all these variables that they might alter the results that you'll get?
Yes, okay. Thank you for the question. It's the work of the ICT platform. Of course, it's not, I didn't speak very much because it's under development. It's the most important part of this project is the gathering of data. And without gut data, we cannot make sure that we do what we are planning to do. So first of all, we collected data from sensors, smart devices that are put in the bikes. These are not very accurate, as you might find very accurate sensors for PM10, PM2.5, but it's not the case here to show that we do accurate measurements. More or less is to gather these measurements, to share them with the people as open source data. The ICT platform is open source. And then this data creates some benchmarking, some awareness in the people's mind to understand more or less if it's a problem of air quality or if it's not a problem in air quality. Not to know exactly the measurements of air quality in the region. Of course, we need very, very expensive and accurate devices. These measurements, though, they will be connected with Copernicus, GEOS, and citizen observatories. Here you see, there are citizen observatories that collect data. And through this platform, we want to have a REST API, let's say, an integrative part, communication device that allows us to get data from other sources and to upload data, to give data to the other sources, to exchange data. This is very, very important. Now, the ICT platform will be open access, so all the data will be freely available. There will be different levels of data. The first one, the local data, that are stored in a cloud locally. And then we have the data in a European level or even higher level that we map the various results and the various data that we get in 3D models and also in GIS models. And we did that also in other projects. It's not so difficult. Now, about the levels of the air quality measurements, we are going to use that in the level of the height of the citizen. 1.60, 1.65, that would be the level of the measurement. The third question about, the second question, it was about, I'm sorry, can you remind me?
I think it was also about how you're going to expose this data into a more visual form. So
okay, if you have, they will have a GPS, so you know exactly where the bikes are, and then you measure the velocity through the positioning of the bike. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you from my side. Really, both presentations have been fantastic this morning and really great projects. I'm sure you know Smart Citizen, but if you don't know Smart Citizen, it is a good place to look for how to sort of like disseminate data, or how perhaps you can connect to the Smart Citizen network as well.
Yes.
So
I didn't put it. Yes.
Ah,
yes,
okay,
you're
cool.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you. Are we having any other questions? Okay, I'm going to read you a question via our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Mr. Jose Chong, who is a previous speaker and program manager officer at UN Habitat, likes to know if you can provide information about source of funding for the implementation of the project and the management schemes for the different locations. Do you want me to repeat? Yes.
Okay, each city, if I understand correctly, the funding scheme, the funding
Yes.
schemes for its location.
For its location and for the whole implementation
Okay.
of the project.
Each of these 8 cities, they had their own strategic plan. Let's say, for example, in for example, in Bergen, in Norway, they wanted to create a city beach and to have an area there that people can go and gather and also socialize. What we added there is the nature perspective. We added nature, we added some greenery, and the digital component. The big city project is funded by the city. It's a strategic plan of the city. It's a master plan. our work is funded by the Horizon 2020. Okay?
Yes, thank you. I think that covers it. So, we're having any other questions in the room? Okay, so I'd like to thank once more Mrs. Kolokotsara.
Thank you very much.
And now we will take a short coffee break, proceed with our work session as usual, and continue with our live streaming after the lunch break at 14:30. Thank you all for watching us.